Hello!
Hello!
How is everyone? Today we have several different subjects, topics, even subjects, like we did last week. Whereas the previous 10 episodes before, would you say, Doom? Yeah,
Yeah.
The previous we had like 2 or 3 at most. But this one, I think, is going to be a lot like last week in that we'll have a lot of small subjects to talk about.
Well, we had a lot of positive feedback from viewers saying that they really liked the way we laid it out last week. So we thought let's keep this going. Let's see how far we can push this. So back with more news than ever.
I will say that there will be some negative and positive news today.
Yes.
Because there are some things that are annoying. Mm-hmm. And some things which are very, very cool.
And some things that are just nuts.
Indeed. Damn it, I didn't watch that video.
Maybe watch it when we cover it, and then we'll get a live reaction from you.
Alright.
Be cool.
Sorry,
so shall we...
I decided to start eating a ginger nut biscuit. It was an Easter one, it was. From Tesco. Quite nice. There you go, there's my review of the Tesco ginger nut eggs for Easter. Quite nice. Anyway, the first topic of discussion we are going to discuss this week is going to be Sony, Nintendo and Microsoft are being investigated over online games, according to the article.
Yes. So they're being investigated by the let me get the name specific. It is the Competition and Markets Authority. It's in the UK. They're being investigated.
Yes.
And so what they're actually investigating is the way that the big three are
handling online services.
Advertising. Yeah, handling and advertising their online subscriptions. So, and the way that these things become renewed, the commission are basically the authority, the commission, whatever you want to call them. They are basically saying that they think the way that the three companies handle their renewal, their subscription renewals, is unfair and not laid out well enough to make sure you know exactly what you're paying for and when you're going to pay for it. So it says here, the competition watchdog said on Friday, just gone, which would have been Friday the 5th, that its consumer law investigation will seek to determine if the company's business practices are legal. To be fair, I kind of get this. I've personally, like, the amount of times, it's my own fault, but I kind of know what I'm getting into. But I'd understand maybe if you weren't quite as informed. Like, when I sign up for something, I know eventually I'm going to get charged for it. But I am with them. Microsoft especially, I don't find them very good at letting you know when something is up for renewal. And the way that they handle it, like, for instance, a good one to say is I've just had an email. I had an email notification the other day to let me know that my Office 365 subscription is being renewed, as it is every year. Here's the thing: it renews every year, and it's not cheap. It's £60 a year, but it allows you to use Office. I get a terabyte of OneDrive storage. I get free Skype minutes and all that kind of stuff in it. Anyway, the point is, you pay for it, but they send the renewal reminder, or the renewal email a month before you actually renew. But the way they word it is saying that they've already taken the money. So I had to actually check to see if they have it, and they haven't. And once I look deeper, it will say in the small print that they won't take the money until the actual renewal date, which is next month. But you could see how that would mislead people, because if you get an email insinuating they've already taken the money, you probably just go, oh, well, I've already paid for it now, and you won't investigate any further. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. I don't
It is a bit
personally-
shady.
Yeah, I don't have the problem myself because what I tend to do is I tend to buy my subscriptions from other outlets.
Yeah.
Like I know with PlayStation, when I was due for renewal on PSN, there was a notification they constantly on the dash, not on the dash stuff, but in the notifications tab saying your PlayStation Plus subscription runs out on such and such and such date. Please update, blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, I'll get my subscription from somewhere else. So that's what I did. So I don't notice a lot of these things. I just get my subscriptions online. But if they do word things like, oh yes, we haven't taken your money, but we have, but you know, that kind of thing, then yeah, it does seem a bit dodgy. But they'd also look into things like refunds and how easy it is to get them, and with the subscription services, I believe, auto renewal of contracts, shit like that.
Yeah, I think as well the issue is, well, the thing is, my past experience of sorry, I'm just getting a phone call from my wife a second. She should be on her way to work, so something might be wrong. I'll be right back.
Okay. And for those that you were wondering what that weird noise in the background was when Doom was speaking, that's actually my dog. He's sleeping. Well, he's not now. He's looking at me because I made a noise. He was sleeping and he must be dreaming about barking at something. I don't know. But yeah, it's saying here the company focus on the auto renewals for online gaming contracts, the company's cancellation and refund policies, and their terms and conditions. It says that they've actually got in contact with Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, requesting information about their online gaming contracts to help better understand their practices. So I'm guessing they're going to look at that and see if any further action would need to be taken. It probably just mean that they'd have to better word the fucking contracts, and that's it. Someone on GRcade was saying, like, the fact that playing online is behind a paywall is kind of something they should be looking at more than like the auto renewal stuff. And I kind of agree, because you know, with PC was free, PlayStation 3 was free, Wii U it was free, Switch up until the last 6 months was free. You know, the Xbox started the whole pay to play online. Your PC have always been free, and I think for a lot of people who went from PCs to console, that was going to be a big shock. And like, I reluctantly pay for my subscriptions. Like, I don't want to pay for them in some ways. If I knew the money was going into making the servers better and what have you, then fair enough. But with Nintendo and things, it's like, it doesn't seem like it is. It seems like they take in my money and then pocketing it. They don't seem to be fucking making the infrastructure better. Like a Smash.
And I'm back. Yeah, sorry, I kind of heard what you were saying. Exactly. You don't mind if you kind of feel like, yeah, the Nintendo's a good example of that, isn't it? At the end of the day,
yes.
It's not like, at least with Xbox Live, it's always been solid, and so you kind of you feel like you get a quality product. I mean, you know, we'll talk about something about Microsoft later, but if it's not talking about that yet, at least I think when you've been paying for it, you've always had a solid service, and they've built on it with your games with gold and all this kind of stuff. You kind of, at least you kind of go, well, we've always had solid connections. The party chat works really well. There's never any like, the only bullshit you get with online games is if the online games are host based, but that's not Microsoft's fault. Do you know what I mean? At least you feel like, for me, I feel like I get a quality product with Xbox Live.
I find that they are the best of the three, but there have been problems in the past, and like, I remember before me and Dragon were playing a game and streaming, and it was just really dodgy working. It didn't work very well with the chat and stuff, but like, these are problems that don't seem to be commonplace. Like PlayStation 3, their online service was not as good as Xbox 360's, but it was free. And this is the thing. It's like, Microsoft have built on the service of charging you for playing online and then added games with gold. Whereas PlayStation gave you free online, then give you PlayStation Plus, which was a service for the games. Then they kill free online and add it as part of PlayStation Plus. It kind of seems a bit backwards in that respect.
Like, you feel like Microsoft were upfront about it. Yes, we're making you pay, but it's because we've invested money into our infrastructure, and we need to charge you because we've spent a lot of money on the infrastructure to make sure it's good. So they've just been upfront with it. Where Sony kind of went, here's the free, like, we'll give it to you for free because because we're good guys, and then they've snuck it in. They've like, do you know what I mean? They've like snuck it into PS Plus, which is, it's not the most admirable way of doing things, is it? I gotta say,
shit. So they were upfront about doing it. Like, they like actually said it. We are going to be charging for an online subscription, but you're still going to get PlayStation Plus, and you're going to get 6 games a month instead of 2 or whatever it was, 4, 3, something like that. But now this is a thing. It's like the precedent was started by Microsoft charging online. Sony basically came around and said, "Well, if Microsoft are going to fucking charge, we're going to charge." Yeah. And Nintendo have done the same. Well, if they're going to charge, we're going to charge.
The problem is with Nintendo is that they've thought that, but then they haven't thought further on than that. They've just gone, oh well, they can charge for it, so we can. They're not thinking, well, maybe the money that we're making off that should be put into our infrastructure to make it better.
No.
You know, like, let's be honest, because like for the money we're paying, they're like, yeah, well, we're giving you like NES, the like NES games, and you're like, yeah, a potato can emulate them now. It's not exciting.
Yeah.
You know. Like, really, if they turned around and said, look, we are going to charge you for online, but out the gate you get the full NES collection, SNES collection, and the Game Boy / Game Boy Color collection, like, straight up. Then at least and then they say, with the view to move to N64, GameCube, and all the rest down the line, you'd go, I have no problems paying for it. But it's the fact that they kind of started charging, and then people went, oh great, so what are we going to get for our money? And they kind of like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you need? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
that's the thing. It's like Nintendo.
Sorry, I've had a slight emergency. I have to go. I know it's really bad timing, but I've got to go collect my wife. So
everything all right?
Yeah, it's just her train broke down on the way to work. There was meant to be a bus to pick her up. She's been waiting half an hour and there's nothing there. So I've got to get her and take her to work. Otherwise, she's going to be like really late. So,
right, okay.
I'll be back as soon as I can. I'll be back. It's probably about 45 minutes. I'll be back. So,
right.
So pain in the ass, I know, but
it's okay, man. Your wife comes first.
Yes. So, sorry, viewers, but I'll be back as soon as I can. I don't know, Pedz, if you want to try and hold the fort until then. We'll stream again for 45 minutes and I'll be back.
Yeah, in there. Alright, see you soon, man.
Alright, nice one.
As I was going to say when Doom was here, I'm not going to stick around for much longer doing the podcast. But Microsoft did the whole online thing with the pay for thing first. And then Sony introduced the plus part of the games free with a subscription. And then they both kind of amalgamated into the same kind of thing with the next console, with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Whereas Nintendo have come along, they are charging like half the price, less than half the price now. They kind of like not really giving you anything for it. It's like, yeah, they are giving you some NES games with added online functionality, but it's not a lot. And I think one thing that both Sony and Microsoft should consider is doing a subscription service for people. Like, as you got to pay for online, doing something like £20 a year, so you get the online service without the games, or do the £20 a year, and you can pick between the free games a month or online for the year, because a lot of people don't actually play online very often. Some none at all, and they then play PS Plus or Xbox Live Gold for the games. And then you have other people who, like Java4, one of the forum members, that's GRcade.co.uk. Now, he always complains about, like, the fact that he's getting hand-chosen games given to him, and he would rather the money that he's paying himself he put towards better deals, better online, and that sort of thing. And you can understand when people want different things, which is why more options would be a good idea. But I still be more on paying fucking a subscription fee to play online in general. The simple fact that I have to do that is a pain in my ass. Simply because I don't like doing it. But you know how it is. Let's see. Right, as Doom has gone for a bit, I am going to play a little game for a bit.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, it's
I found a
Doom!
workaround.
He's on the fucking day! I was just about to... I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. I might play a game, but you're here, so I don't need to.
I suddenly, literally, this is how dedicated to the cause I am. I've got you running through my 4G on Discord on my phone while I connected it to the Bluetooth of my car. So I promise I'll drive safely. It's all hands-free. I'm not doing anything illegal, but obviously if I suddenly stop what I'm talking about, it's probably because I'm concentrating on something, but we can continue.
Yeah, alright. And if you hear horrible screaming and crashing noises, then this was a bad idea.
Or sirens.
Well,
something's wrong.
Yeah, well, if all that happens, we'll definitely not disconnect. Because, you know, it'd be entertaining for the listeners and viewers.
Do I sound okay?
You sound not as good as you normally do, simply because you're obviously speaking not close to a mic, if you know what I mean, from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
You sound
But
distant,
is it good enough?
but it's good enough to hear you.
Alright, cool.
You sound guilty. Graham, Slam even. I thought that was Grum because of the same colour name. Slam, sorry. He's in his car because he needs to pick up his missus because car broke down. No, a train broke down.
Something like that, anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Well, do you want to continue to talk about this, or do you want to move on to the next subject? I was basically saying that. Obviously, you weren't sure. I was saying that the thing with Sony and Microsoft is that they've both taken from each other. You have PlayStation Plus games, and then Xbox Live Gold, and then you have the paid subscription, and they've both kind of done the same thing now. Whereas Nintendo have kind of like half-arsed it. And like I was saying, although the subscription fee for a year is £17 on the Xbox, I think it's £17 a year with Nintendo. It's going to be £50 a year for both. So it is about a third of the price.
Yeah.
But like I was saying,
does that excuse the quality?
Not really. No, I think they need to improve the online service. To be honest,
just out of interest, we'll move on quick in a minute. But I was just saying, just out of interest, would you be willing, bearing in mind you've got all three consoles, and I've got two of them. Would you, if Nintendo came out and said, right, you know what, we've realised we've messed up. We're going to have to change the way we do things. We're going to have to charge you the same as the other two, but for your money, you're getting proper infrastructure, which allows proper gaming. Like, basically, if they turned around and said, we're going to give you Xbox quality service, as in, like, your online service, Xbox quality, but we're going to have to charge you the same price, would you be willing to pay 3 lots of subscription a year to have that? Or do you think Nintendo are too late to the party and that it's kind of not acceptable to now charge it? Because, do you know what I mean?
I think it would be too... I think it'd be too late to do it now for the Switch, but the next console I could understand if they did it, because it'd be the same as PlayStation 3 to 4, if that makes sense. I'd still be pissed off. I would pay it because I'd want to be able to play online on all my consoles. But I still don't like the fact that I can... What pisses me off with Microsoft is they releasing their games on both PC and Xbox. And simply because it's easier for me to play a game and stream from my Xbox, I'm paying for Xbox Live Gold when I could be playing on my fucking PC and not paying for an online fee. Because it's free. Although, I don't need that with an Xbox game on the PC because it's free.
Yeah. See, apparently Microsoft, I did read an article saying Microsoft do seem to be trying to figure out a way to charge PC players from Xbox Gold. And this is where an article we're going to talk about later might come into it. Where
I will say this, good fucking luck because people ain't going to do it.
Yeah. No. They're looking... Because the way they're going to try and do it is, I think they're going to try and hide it in with Game Pass. So, something we'll talk about more in depth later is Microsoft are due to release a Game Pass Ultimate, which is linking Game Pass and Xbox Live together. It actually works out cheaper to pay the monthly subscription of, off the top of my head, I had the numbers on the article, but it's something like £12 a month or £13 a month. It's something like that. It works out cheaper to pay that monthly than it does to buy a year's worth of Xbox Live plus paying monthly for the Game Pass. So it does work out cheaper, but they're looking to take that to PC at the same time. So that might be their way of sneaking in Game Pass and Xbox Live over to PC.
Yeah.
Which, if you're a Souls PC player, then you're not going to be happy, are you? But,
he's back.
Yeah, hello?
Hello? Yeah, you got a second there.
So it's tricky. It's tricky. I'm not sure what they're planning, but yeah, to watch this space type of thing. Have they done any, if we go back to the original article, have they done anything illegal? I don't think they're stupid enough to try and do something illegal, but I do think the way they have their auto-renew policies and their refund policies, they're not the greatest. Microsoft, I've got to be honest, I will say this, as I said earlier, I'm not a particular fan of the way Microsoft handle their subscription renewals, because they do make it sound like they've already taken the money, and if that's the case, you kind of go, oh, well, I've already paid it now, and you don't think to look into it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, when Groove was a thing, when their music streaming service, Groove, was a thing, I was a member of that, and there was a couple of times while I was with them that Spotify gave me a better deal, so I would leave, and they were quite open about it. What they would do is, if you wanted to cancel your Groove subscription, they gave you an option, and it was very clear. There was no small print. They just simply said, we're sorry that you're leaving. You have two options. You could cancel, and you could cancel but keep the rest of the month the rest of your whenever you've paid till. So let's say you've cancelled it the day after you've renewed your monthly subscription, then you could have the rest of the month to use Groove, and they'll keep the monthly subscription. Or what they gave you the other option, and it was just as clear. There was no hidden option. The other option was you can have a refund for the difference, but you lose Groove instantly. But they were very open. So I just did that, and I think at one time I was in only in 2 days. So I basically got most of my $8.99 back. It was I got £8.40 something back, or something crazy like that.
I think all that will happen. I think all that will happen, personally, if anything happens, is they may have to rephrase some of the wording, and that's probably it. I don't think anything else will happen with any of them, to be honest.
No.
That's it. That's all that'll happen, if anything. It's just change a bit of the wording, and then okay, this is good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. Okay, fuck off.
Basically.
Yeah.
Should we move on? next subject?
Yeah. The next subject is someone
Mario. Yeah, that's it. I just
beats
remembered.
Mario 64 in over 70 hours using one button.
Yeah. This,
Right.
but at first, I'd just say at first, I thought they meant one button as in like, they were using a joystick to run around and just using one button to jump, and a part of me was like, well, that's not that impressive, because at the end of the day, that's kind of all you do with Mario, run around and jump. Then I realized what they meant was everything, including his movement, was controlled by a button, and the way he had to do it was program that button, so if he clicks it 3 times in succession, it will move him forward. If he clicked it 4 times in succession, he runs backwards. 2 times it would go to the left. 3 times it would hold, 3 times and hold it, go right. Everything was done via one button and a succession of clicks. That's insane.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
There's something you're saying. The same streamer also beat Dark Souls using a frying pan.
I saw something about that. How do you use a frying pan to beat Dark Souls? I don't understand.
Maybe it's a frying pan in the game. Or probably not.
Is it? Oh my god!
I
Imagine
don't
doing a
know.
frying pan in the game.
I don't know if it's a frying pan. I'm saying I don't know. I have no idea how it works.
That'd be amazing. It's like the guy who done Dark Souls 2 with the Guitar Hero guitar. You know?
Yeah.
Also, while we're on the subject of really crazy shit, this week somebody completed. They done the whole. They done the Dark Souls trilogy and the Bloodborne games. So they did the whole thing. They completed it without getting hit once.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. First person to do it, at least that's been recorded or streamed anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I remember.
I can't even get my head around these things.
I remember last year, there was a guy called the Mexican Runner. Have you ever heard of him? Streamer on Twitch.
No, but that's an amazing name.
Yeah, the Mexican Runner. He's Mexican and he speedruns. But he was the first person recorded to beat every single Nintendo Entertainment System game. Every single one.
Holy crap.
It
That's
was
a serious
yeah.
feat. There's what, like 1,600 games, maybe more on that system?
Yeah. I believe they call them NES Quest and Mega Drive Quest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people I speak to say, like, yeah, I'm really interested in doing it. And then it's like, but I don't want to play all the really bad games. And like someone I was looking at who's doing something similar. The Mother Brain, I think his name is. I'm not sure if it's like the Mother Brain something. The Mother Brain like 78 or something.
Yeah.
But he was doing one with I think it was NES games as well, and he was rating them and like leaving doing a little tiny review on each of them as well. Fuck. Yeah. Could you imagine all the time it would take to do all that with every single game? And I think it was I think it was every game, including European games as well.
Was it? Oh my
I think
gosh.
so, yeah. So, you know, it's surprising.
I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know about you, like, obviously, we talked about the Mario one, but we're just, like, I think the subject we're talking about is just crazy gaming achievements, you know? I think it's just the whole thing in general. Like, they're nuts. Like, I can't even, I struggle to get my head around some of these as well. Like, it's not just speed running. I can kind of get my head around speed running because it's just knowing the game so well, you know where to exploit it and stuff. And it's an impressive feat. I can't speed run a single game, so that's not. But these guys, like, these guys take it to a whole different another level because it's like they're just breaking, like they're breaking, like where a speedrunner is looking to break the rules of the game. These guys are looking to break the rules of physics. Do you know what I mean? Like actual real life physics or biology or whatever to try to do this. It's like they're literally taking. They're changing the, like, bearing in mind we're programmed biologically the way, like, because we're so used to holding a controller, we're biologically programmed that kind of muscle memory. So they're mechanically changing the way they play the game as well as breaking, like, I'm sure it's physics. They're breaking physics to do some of these things.
It's like it's like other streamers I've seen who've done Punch Out blindfolded, because everything you can do can be heard, if you know what I mean. It's like if someone's going to do some type of punch or something, it's all audio as well, so you can play without being able to see. One of the other fun streams I watched at AGDQ or SGDQ was 2 guys, 1 pad. And it was I think it was 2 guys using 1 pad to beat, I think it was either Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2. That was a fun fucking stream. It was just like a speed run of a Dark Souls game with one guy controlling the movement and the other guy controlling the actions. It's really cool.
What? I've seen someone do Dark Souls with a dance pad, you know, like the dance games.
That'd be fun to watch.
Saw someone do it with a dance pad. That's nuts. Like when they got to do the complex stuff, it's like they haven't to use their hands as well to do it, but it's nuts. Like on the floor, you know. It's like playing Twister with themselves. I don't know how they do it, but
with great difficulty.
Yeah. I mean, I respect what they do. These guys do, but I don't know. I don't know. It's impressive, but I guess it's one of those things. They're doing it because they can. There's no reason for them to do it. It doesn't make their life any better. In fact, it makes their lives worse. I'm convinced of it. You know, the amount of shit they put themselves through to do this, but they do it just to prove they can. You know, and you got to give respect to people who do stuff just because they can. You know, we all got, like, I know this is I'm going off on a tangent, but we've all got motives for why we do things. The reason for gaming, everything we do, there's a motive behind it. These guys have just gone, I'm doing it just because I can. And, you know, let's be honest, in life there aren't many things that we do because we can. It's usually fueled by something, you know?
Yeah.
So they've had to invest so much time into this. It's nuts.
I know exactly what you're saying, man. But yeah, there's some really fun stuff to see, like, and people do various things. I think some of them do it to see if they can as well as because they can. It's like, I wonder if I could beat this game only using my penis. Yeah. And then they try it, and they do it. And it's like, wow, you used your penis to... I went for the penis, but there you go. Shock value. I wouldn't want to see that at the next AGDQ. Especially as it's family friendly. Would you like to go on to the next topic of discussion?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm gonna have to cut out a sec because I've got my wife trying to call me, probably trying to figure out where I am.
Yeah, cool.
I'll be back. Pedz, can you kick me out of this chat? Because obviously I need to be hands free.
No.
Hello.
I am trying to find a way. That block.
I'm right. Sorry, I've got a couple of conversations going on at once. I'm literally round the corner. I'm just getting to the light before getting to Kogan, so I'll be there in like 2 minutes. Yeah.
There you go. Doom has been kicked while he's talking to his wife. I found it. It was a big red thing. Yeah, basically, it's really interesting the way they've done it with the different movements and stuff with the one button. He did say here that he had to make a couple of macros, a few small macros to make Mario spin, because it would literally be impossible, he said, for Bowser to spin fast enough to throw him and that kind of thing. So he did really well, to be fair. Good on him. Wish I could do something like that instead of being shit all the time. Well, Doom isn't here at the minute, so we could move on to the next topic. The next subject, I'm assuming Doom will join back in now, is that people are speculating that the next Assassin's Creed game is going to be Viking based. The reason being is in The Division 2, also by Ubisoft, there is a poster on the wall. Let's see. Right, so there's a poster on the wall. It says Valhalla on it. It's in the JFK Center. All of these, that's what it says on there. And it shows a Viking standing there with a spear. But it looks like he's also wearing the Assassin's robes. As well as that, on a zoom-in picture, it looks like he's holding a Apple of Eden. So people put in a couple of facts together and stuff like that. That the next assassin is going to be with Vikings. He's also wearing a Viking helmet. Without horns, because they didn't have horns. That was bullshit. Yes, let's have a look at this image. Yes, that does definitely look like a piece of Eden. Like, I didn't know about this until Doom mentioned it to me via PM. But, like, I don't know, I don't know, I wouldn't know where they would go with it, because, like, with Assassin's Creed, the best ones have been, for me, while most of them have been on places with big cities, it's like they seem to be the best place for you to, like, for traversal and things. I don't know if you'd get that with a Viking setting, because I don't know what the areas were like during those times. Also, where would it be set exactly? Because obviously Vikings invaded places. Yes. Nice music, huh, guys? Yeah, the melee combat would be high focus. Also, the sail. Would there be any kind of ship battles? Because obviously, the pirate ships in 4, and the ships, which was also in 3. And Rogue, and I think in one of the newest ones, would they have the same kind of thing? Because obviously the ships would have been different with cannons and stuff. You just don't know, do you? And the thing is for me, I'm thinking like, oh, Viking times, they wouldn't have big cityscapes like in Italy and with Assassin's Creed 2. It'd be more like Assassin's Creed 3, where there's like small little towns they've dotted about, and it's just like, do I want another Assassin's Creed 3? Yeah, exactly. So that's the problem you've got. It's like, it's not that I think it would be bad. It's just I wouldn't know how they would do it well with the Assassin's Creed games. It's like, you could have a game like For Honor, for example, where you're just smashing the fuck out of other people. But Assassin's Creed is about more than that. There's like all, like I said, the traversal. There's the whole stealth approach. And if you're in areas where there's not much, then I don't know. It's a shame Doom's taking ages, because I'd like to hear his thoughts on the Assassin's Creed stuff. Like, You would recommend playing hard on Netflix? I don't know what you mean. I know there's a show that's out which is supposed to have Mark Hamill, season 2 of something. Oh, it's a documentary about the game's development. Oh, I'll have to check that out. That's something Ubellion have said, guys. You should definitely check it out if he said to watch it. He knows his shit. But, I don't know. Like, the thing is I'm one of the few people who enjoyed the first Assassin's Creed. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it was a brilliant game, but you had what I see as, you know, you did have the repetitive structure of you had to do these 3 missions, go to this place, speak to a guy, get your actual proper assassination target. But I found in that game that hasn't been the same since. Is you could take on the target however you wanted. You literally could sneak in, kill them, sneak out. And then from 2 onwards, they kind of changed it. So like a lot of the targets would end up in some kind of scripted event, or you'd have some cutscenes and then some scripted event. I don't know what's an Advent. What the fuck's an Advent? Event. So it's a shame in that respect, but although that kind of became less open in regards to how you could do it, every other aspect of the game started to improve. And then I find then that, like, Assassin's Creed 3 was then, like, a massive backstep in a lot of ways. But at the same time, it did add some cool shit, like, the tree running, and I'm sure it had, like, the traps you could use to, like, whip people up into a tree and shit. So it's like, all the games have good things about them. It's just, some of them have more negative things. Like Assassin's Creed 1, it had, like, it's like, one of the things you could do is just go around and collect flags in the city. And Assassin's Creed 1, you had the flags. Assassin's Creed 2, you had the feathers. And it's all stuff, it's like, I don't really care about that. But I think the feathers actually did something in Assassin's Creed 2. Like, maybe it was a cutscene every so often with, like, your sister or mother or something. I forget. I don't think it was just, I'm pretty sure your family gets wiped out. But it was something like that. And, whereas in 1, it was literally, you know, you literally did these certain tasks before you could actually do this one mission, which actually let you do what you want, and you could have a bit of fun doing that. Assassin's Creed 3, it started off really well for me. I was enjoying it. Yes, again, you didn't have the big cityscape of, like, Italy, but Haytham was a much better character than Connor. I don't know if you, I don't know if it was the acting, as in the voice acting, or if it was the way the character was written, or both. But Connor was just such a bland, boring fuck, whereas Haytham was really cool, and the twist with Haytham was cool as well. You gotta be honest, that was pretty cool. And I think 4 kind of put it back on track. Again, you didn't have the big cities and stuff, but I think sailing around and going to little different islands and things, and doing the ship battles, added to the experience more than it took away. Obviously, it would have been cool if you had like a big fucking like Venice-style city and the rest of the stuff. But we didn't get that. And I think 4 is up there with 2 as being one of the best in the series. And then you've got I didn't play Rogue very much. I only played a little bit of it and I was like, I'm bored. I don't know why. And then I played Unity. And I didn't play it when it first came out, I will admit. So I didn't get the weird freaky eyeballs in the hair and that sort of glitch. But I did have quite a few glitches myself. It's like one time I went into like this little hut thing. Looked like an outhouse, to be honest. To hide from someone. And then all of a sudden, my character would just start falling through the floor. And I would die in white. Just the white, like the the thingamajig you're in. What's it called? I can't remember. That. And there was another time where I was playing online with my brother-in-law, and I was in the yeah, it did. It did. It's just it came out quite a disappointment. When I played, I enjoyed it, but not as much as previous games, except for 3. And it's one time I was like in the beams of this house, like being sneaky, like walking along all quiet, and I went to drop down, and as I did, I got stuck in between the roof and the wood, and I was like half hanging through this roof, and my legs were dangling through. It was great. I can't remember how I sorted that out, but I did make a clip of it. It was fun. So I had a lot of problems like that with Unity, but it was alright to play, and I did do like the co-op stuff in there. I don't think you could do the whole gaming co-op, but I think they were co-op missions, if memory serves. And I remember at the time as well, there'd be massive controversy because there was no female assassins. You could have 4 players, but you couldn't be female. And I think the reason that was given at the time was it's just easier to animate 4 males in the sense of they already had the silhouette or whatever, the frame and what have you. So they just changed the clothes slightly on each one. So, you know. Less to animate. Yeah, that's what it was it? It's very, very strange. I'm trying to think. And that's another thing, see, is another... like, I know trailers on the forum and myself. I'm not sure about other people. I know my brother-in-law liked it as well, but I actually liked the future stuff to break up the past stuff. It also connects the games, which kind of doesn't now because obviously Nolan North died. Pretty sure it was Nolan North who voiced Desmond. But that's the thing with Desmond is like the way it ended. I just thought it was really disappointing. I was really disappointed with the whole ending. It's like, oh, you go through all this stuff just to go, oh well, I'll just die. Whatever. And it's like, well, that was pointless. It's not like it was a really cool sacrifice or anything. It was just like, I'll let this person out, and then I'll die. And then the world can be fucked anyway. Whatever. You know? I see that this is the thing. I haven't played Syndicate, Origins, or Odyssey. My plan is to play Syndicate before I move on. But I've heard a lot about Syndicate being really good after Unity's fuck up. But I've also heard that the male character in that game is rather shit and like one note, whereas the sister, the female character, is meant to be a lot better character, a lot more interesting. Not not one note, basically. Seems to actually have some sense and not just want to fucking stab shit. I don't know who they are. They could be, I don't know, the Crunchy Twins. I don't know. Jacob and Evie, is it? So yeah, with that, I just don't know how it would work. I could see it being more like something like 3 and... And what would it be? Would it... Because like... Didn't the Vikings invade Britain? Would it be that? Would it be that type? Who knows? Oh well. Who knows what's going to happen there. I don't think we're going to hear for a good long time about that. And that's a shame. So I'm going to move on to the next subject. Hopefully Doom will be back soon. He did say 45 minutes, but he was here for a bit. The next subject is actually... You know, if Doom comes back, we can always go back over a couple of things to get his point of view. And maybe I can give mine to his... Yeah. Right, so the next one I saw is Prince Harry says that addictive video games, even though I saw it said addicting, and I fucking hate the term addicting, it's addictive. With a fucking V. Right? Addicting... As they say, addictive games should be banned, including Fortnite. Like, I haven't read the article fully. Basically, what he said is the game shouldn't be allowed. Where is the benefit of having it in your household? It's created to addict. An addiction to keep you in front of a computer for as long as possible. It's so irresponsible. It's like waiting for the damage to be done and kids turning up on your doorsteps and families being broken down. He added that social media was more addictive than alcohol and drugs. This is the thing. It's like if I get what he's saying about things being addictive, but if parents, and I'm a parent myself, if parents allow their children to just do what they want and play games as much as they want with no restrictions, then I think that's on them. It's not on anyone else. If you aren't willing to be firm, then that's on you. Like, you know, you've got to fucking say no every now and again. That's my point of view. Like, I don't even understand why he would... He also said about, like I said, again, social media in general. But, like, I don't know if he uses social media or anything, or doesn't play games, or does. But it seems like, you know, it seems like the view of someone very, very, very old who doesn't really know or understand at the same time. It's like, basically, you just need to... do your job as a fucking parent and say no. Like, I haven't really got much to if on him saying these things, really. Like, it's like, because at the end of the day, he is right in some regards that people do get addicted to games, and it seems to be a recognized thing now. So I can understand him saying, you know, oh, maybe people should limit their time. I don't understand why he would say don't fucking have them at all. It's like saying don't have many other things that people get addicted to, which people do, like cigarettes, alcohol. But at the same time, I could understand if he had said something along the lines of, you know, those games are addictive, you know, maybe people should consider how much playtime they spend on it, and parents should maybe look into it as well, then that'd be more understandable than the game shouldn't be allowed. And the thing is I don't see why we should have our stuff taken off us in that sense either. It's like, oh well, you shouldn't allow this, and they say it does get banned. It's like, well, who's fucking benefited in the end? People would just move on to the next fucking thing. I don't know. Yeah. There's the thing, like, it's like reading through the quickly browsing the article now. There are people on here talking about gaming addiction, and like this one guy saying he was in university. Well, that is literally down to him, but at the same time, you know, you can't punish everyone then for the foo, like, yeah. Oh well. Yeah, well, I haven't really got much to say other than that. I thought Doom would be back by now. So Watch Dogs 3, eh? That is something I did not know. Is that a very, very new announcement? Or is this something I've missed? The thing is, I've not played Watch Dogs 2. I played Watch Dogs 1. I got bored shitless of Watch Dogs 1 and never finished it. So I have very little interest in the third game. From the perspective, I haven't played 2, even though I've heard it is such a step up. It's basically like a Assassin's Creed 1 to 2 kind of thing. I didn't know that. Yeah, the thing is though, with the very first Assassin's Creed, they actually showed like the next piece of Eden in Japan or something, and that never happened. People were expecting a like Japanese game. Oh. Right, next up, hopefully Doom will be back soon, is Borderlands 3. There is a gun, which I spoke about last week, that has legs. Well, it turns out that gun, as well as having legs, it runs and yells insults to enemies. Isn't that fucking cool? It actually insults people. It does. And there's also a gun that shoots volcanoes. Yeah, I'm looking really forward to Assassin's Creed, Borderlands 3. No. I think what I mean is the gun in the game runs around and yells insults at the enemies that you're going to kill. Not that it offended people. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That sounds like a really cool gun. I wonder what other stuff they're going to throw in there. I still think it's pretty cool that people from Tales from the Borderlands are going to be in Borderlands 3. Right. I'm dying on my ass. Right. I have here the Rage 2 Diamond Geezer cheat code. This is meant to actually be a part of the game or something? I don't know. I'm going to watch it on my phone. I'm going to let you know what I think once I watch it. Twat. Fuck me. So yeah, it appears that I'm assuming the Diamond Geezer cheat code is actually like a voice pack in the game where Danny Dyer is saying stuff. I don't know though. Yeah, it does appear to be that it's just a voice commentator while you're playing the game. So basically, while you're playing the fucking game, you're gonna have Danny Dyer commentating over it. Fucking hell. That's fucking mad. That's funny. That was actually a pretty funny video. So there's meant to be like there's also the NBA Jam commentator doing a like commentary to the game, and there's meant to be more cheat codes. There's one called the Phoenix Rejector Seat, which makes your car shoot into the sky instead of you whenever you hit the eject button. What the fuck? Yeah, it's nice to see some games not be so fucking serious and add silly things like walking, talking, fucking guns and Danny Dyer calling people a twat while you shoot them. You know? You can't really complain when something fun is done. What's not so fun is the collector's edition for the game. Well, for Rage 2, I forgot to say it's for Rage 2, not Borderlands. Did I say that? Did I? I don't know anything about it. Rage 2 Collector's Edition. This is just Rage 2's got another game. Remember, doesn't show a price. Oh, it's 120 quid. Shit. You get in it, you get a Ruckus the Crusher token head, a steelbook, a collector's poster, Rise of the Ghost expansion, Doom, BFG, UAC, super weapon, Wasteland Wizard cheat codes, battle standard. Ah, so you get the fucking BFG from Doom in there as well. Cool. See, I never played much of Rage, the first game. I don't actually know. I can invite you, Doom. You just need to jump into the general chat. Oh shit. I have invited you to Doom. Hey Doom. Alright, Doom.
Hello.
Alright?
Yes. Finally.
Right, I have talked about a couple of the subjects because I was on my own. Unfortunately, I don't like doing things on my own. It's a lot harder to do.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
it might have been fine, but I basically talked about Assassin's Creed. I'm actually up to Danny Dyer right now.
Yeah.
But as you're here, we may as well go back to the things I talked about, just briefly to see your point of views on things. So, the Assassin's Creed game may be about Vikings. Uberian was saying there was a leak about it as well. I don't actually know what that is, if it's a different thing to what we just saw, but there was also mention of Watch Dogs 3 in the same leak. So, if I had a link, I would sort that.
Well, the thing that I've got here doesn't talk about Watch Dogs at all. Basically, the Easter egg, the leak is an Easter egg, I guess, could be found in the Division 2, and it's basically a poster that basically it's a picture of a Viking warrior who's in very Assassin's Creed-esque uniform, as in the same colors. It's like a cloak, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's holding. I don't know much about Assassin's Creed. I've only played Black Flag, but this poster of this warrior, the warrior is holding a staff of some sort, but he's holding something that looks very similar to the apples of Eden.
Yep.
To me, that doesn't mean anything. But
Yeah,
obviously...
the apples of Eden are in I believe it's the second game. The apple of Eden is. They are different pieces of Eden, because I think in the first game is a different piece of Eden, but in the second game they mention the apples of Eden, or maybe there's one in the first game as well. I'm not sure. That's what I was talking about. But I'm looking here on GameSpot, and someone called Jason Schreier. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. He's saying here that there's something about Watch Dogs 3 being in London, and the next Assassin's Creed being a Viking.
Yes. That'll be pretty cool. I'm surprised they haven't touched the Viking era yet anyway. So
I'm not surprised. As I was saying earlier, I don't know how Assassin's Creed would work with Viking stuff, because Assassin's Creed, the best Assassin's Creeds to me have been where there's cities, big fucking cities for you to climb around, jump along rooftops. It's all about traversal. While Assassin's Creed 4 is one of my favorite Assassin's Creeds, and it didn't really have that in compared to 2, it had other things which I really enjoyed, like the sailing and that kind of thing. And my worry is this is going to be like Assassin's Creed 3, where it's going to be a lot of openness. Like even the wilderness in Assassin's Creed 3 a lot of the time is just fucking barren. So I'm worried, is it going to be the same kind of thing as that? Sam says almost all of them have an apple. I thought there were different pieces in some of them. Never mind. I'm obviously wrong. So it's like, how would they work it? If it is, like, is there going to be cityscapes? Like, if they go to...
The Vikings weren't exactly known for their impressively massive cities or anything, were they,
No. And it's like, where would it take place? Would it be the Viking conquest of like the UK or something, and then, or Vikings Viking in somewhere else?
Unless, I guess the other option could be, it's based on Vikings. It doesn't mean it's based. I wonder if maybe you're onto something there with the conquest of Britain, and maybe you play as a British character who I have no idea how they're going to do the story, but maybe you play as a British person trying to essentially defend their land against the Viking conquest, and obviously by doing that maybe finding Viking armor and that, to blend in and do all that, because you would have the cities there then, Okay, they're not as big and as vast.
Do you think they would have another game where the protagonist is British again?
Well, when was
they had that in Syndicate?
The last one.
Syndicate. Yeah. Well, you had 4 where the character was Welsh.
Kenwyn. Yeah.
Then obviously you had 3 where Haytham is in it. He's English. Is Kenway's son. Because there's Edward Kenway, then Haytham, which was in 3, because 4 was set before 3. And also in 3 you have Haytham's son, which is Connor.
Right.
So you have 3. So that's like a trilogy of its own. kind of like what you had with Ezio's collection, because there's the 3 games as Ezio, and then you had I say trilogy because there was also Rogue, which also took place in America and had some features from Fortnight, and you play as an Irish guy, but you come across like several people from 3. I think it turns out like does someone in Rogue kill someone from the other game? Something like that.
It's cool. But yeah, so, you know, if it is Viking, it'd be quite cool. And as Slam said in the chat, obviously it'd be like the way they've done Origins and Odyssey.
I haven't played them, so I can't actually...
Yeah, I've played Origins, and the way... I've got Odyssey, I just haven't played it. The way that they've done Origins is you've got the cities to do your exploration in, but you're in a desert as well. You're in the Egyptian desert, so there are these bigger open areas. But the way that these new games have been built, they've improved that aspect of it, where maybe you haven't played the new ones and you've got only 3 to kind of think of how a more open, more barren, like a more open wilderness type thing would be. And it's probably not the best example, where I think Origins did it quite well. And bearing in mind it's a desert, which is not even trees, there's nothing there, and yet it still works. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I could say you could still. It just doesn't seem very Assassin's Creed in that sense. Assassin's Creed was all about like being sticky, climbing around rooftops and climbing up towers, and like, don't get me wrong, in the first Assassin's Creed you do travel like a bit. It's not a lot of outside of city areas, like basically like deserty looking roads to the next areas and back and forth, but I don't know. It's cool. It just seems like 2 was probably and Unity. While I wasn't a massive fan of Unity, it was a step up from 3.
Yeah.
That was all set in like Paris or something, and it was just like a big fucking city. I think it was. Is the Notre Dame in? Because I'm sure it was in Paris.
Might be. I'm not sure. I haven't played those games, so.
Yeah, I haven't played Syndicate. Slam says it was horrible, but everyone else I spoke to said that it's actually much better than Unity, and it's actually a shame they didn't carry on with the stuff they were doing there. Well, I'm gutted they didn't carry on with the future stuff properly after 3. Yeah, Unity is in Paris. I thought so. That's what I mean. Like, the big city thing is a lot better for me. I think going into a smaller scale, little dotted around areas isn't as cool.
No.
But I can't say the games are bad because I haven't played them. Origins and Unity, Odyssey. No Mario though, so it can't be that good.
It's all good. Right, should we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I just asked him what would you, as you have, then again, as you haven't played them, you're really gonna have much of a thing of how you might think it would work in that sense. I spoke about Prince Harry, and I was saying that basically about him, what he said basically was about Fortnite. That game shouldn't be allowed. Where is the benefit of having it in your household? It's created to addict. An addiction to keep you in front of your computer for as long as possible. It's so irresponsible. It's like waiting for the damage to be done and your kids turning up on your doorsteps and families being broken down. He also added that social media is more addictive than alcohol and drugs. Drugs are made to addict, yes. Games are not made to addict. They're not made to addict. They're meant to keep your attention, but like a lot of people would get bored after a while.
I got bored after 3 seconds. Yeah. Yeah. Well. So.
Yeah, I'm on about gaming in general. Like most people play for a couple hours and then move on.
I was on about Fortnite.
But you do get people who get addicted to games. You hear about it. But the point is
they had a really bad epidemic in Korea with that, and they have they still have it as a really bad epidemic they've got specialist rehab centers specifically designed to get people off gaming. So, but I don't think it's just Fortnite. At the end of the day, or like,
Oh no.
I can't see the addictive part of Fortnite. The only thing I can see that it could be addictive is the random loot crate thing, you know. But they're not the only game that does it. So, you know, Fortnite is the scapegoat because it's the biggest game. Is the one that, you know, at the end of the day, it's the game that most people are playing. So therefore, it's probably the one which is gaining the most incidents of addiction in kids. But it doesn't matter what game it is. Like, people get addicted to games all the time, you know. And I mean, not having kids myself. I mean, Pedz, do your kids play Fortnite? I don't know.
One of them does.
Yeah, and I mean, funnily enough, I was reading another article about this, and I mean, it was proper like jazzed up, you know. So I know this isn't the real story because of the way, typical newspaper thing, isn't it? It's like the way they spice it up a bit. But this essentially what this woman was saying is that her son has got like quite an addiction to Fortnite, and it is causing trouble at home. They have noticed changes in his. Basically, it's all the. It's like a 12-year-old kid, and he's showing all the same size as a drug addict. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like, apparently she's resorted to smashing up the console and doing this and doing that. And it's like, okay, I think like the way that they've worded it is very like newspaper-esque in the way that they're obviously looking to spice it up a bit. But I get it. But yeah, I think Fortnite's taking the flack purely because it's the game that all kids are playing.
Yeah.
So therefore, the incidences are going to be more often on that.
But
game.
there's kids playing, there's adults playing as well. Mind you, but
Yes.
like I was saying myself earlier, is as a parent of children.
I'd be worried if you're a parent without children, to be honest.
To stop them getting to that stage, you just limit their playtime and stop them from playing it. It's as simple as that. You don't. If you just let them sit there fucking constantly playing it, when you do try and say, "Oh my god, there's something wrong, we need to stop it," well, it's too late. It's like letting your kids just fucking do what they want, going out all the time and getting pissed, and then turn around and saying, "I think they've got a problem. I should do something about it." Oh no, it's the drink's fault. Well, not really.
Yeah.
And also, if you're under 12, you shouldn't be playing Fortnite anyway.
Kids do though, don't they? It's a crazy phenomenon.
Like one of the people in here, he was saying, it's a bit up from that. He was in university and he wasn't really going out, wasn't eating, wasn't doing many things like that, and it's like you've got the situation there where it's not on the parents because the guy's an adult.
Yeah.
You need to. I don't know. You've got to kind of take responsibility and then just like not do those things. I know it's hard, but if you get to the point where you're like, oh shit, I don't want to do these things, and you know this problem, you should try and get help straight away. I think.
Yeah. It's tricky. I think Ubellian's got a point here as well. Is like the news outlet should be cross-examining the adults in these situations as well.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of these reports kind of go. It always says the adults try to limit their game time, but as Pedz said, that's probably only after the problem started. Then they're going, right, we better limit this. And like you said, it's too late.
Yeah.
It needs to be limited from day one, and that is that. And the kid will just be brought up to understand that. Can't give them the carrot, let them eat half of it, take it off them, and go, no, you can only have a nibble when I say you can. It's like, well, hang on, you just told me I could have the whole carrot. It doesn't work, does it?
No.
So yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, the game's just the scapegoat at the end of the day, and the parents are obviously quick to blame the game, as you said, Pedz. But yeah, it is definitely, the parents definitely need to look at this and. Take a look at themselves in this situation as well. It's kids are kids, aren't they? They're knobs. When they want something, they kick off, don't they? It's a kid thing, But like you said, there's only one way they're going to learn, and that's by standing your ground and proving to them that Obviously, we're not taking into consideration like kids with like autism or anything like that, because that's a different situation again. But if we're just talking about kids trying to get their own way, then then standing your ground and from day one is you won't have any of these problems. I can see that, and I'm not a parent yet. So I don't know.
Something you're not telling us.
Yeah, well, hopefully soon.
I was then. Oh, sorry, you were saying?
No, I was just about to say. Is there anything you want to add, or should we move on?
No, I said what I want to say. Really awkwardly earlier. There was. I then spoke about both Borderlands 3 and Danny Dyer at the same time.
Yeah. Cool.
The reason why I spoke about them both at the same time was more simple fact that I was saying about how it's nice to see games kind of being a lot more fun again.
Yeah.
It's like you got Borderlands 3 that has a gun that runs around shooting and giving people shit while it's doing it, and another gun that shoots volcanoes, and then you have the next game where fucking Danny Dyer does fucking commentary as you kill shit.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the video, everyone needs to go watch the trailer to the Diamond Geezer cheat code that you can put in. It's incredible, and it's like it's one of those things that you kind of want to buy the game just to see what it's like. You almost feel like it might be worth it. It looks both these games. I know I haven't played Borderlands personally, but I'm hoping to change that now that they've the remastered versions out.
Well, the remastered version is £25, and the Handsome Jack collection, which is 2 in the pre-sequel, last I looked was £11.
And is that just? Hang on, isn't that just a remastered version anyway? The Handsome Jack's collection.
It is, but it's a remaster of 2 and the pre-sequel, whereas Borderlands Remastered is the first game remastered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Which came out Friday, I think.
It's like you say. I just love the fact that these games aren't taking themselves too seriously, and they are fun. And I can't think of the last game I played that was like that. That was truly like that. Can you think of a game that's kind of done this kind of thing, really not taking itself seriously?
Not off the top of my head.
No, that's what I mean. You can't just grab one out of the So
Looter shooter. Well, to be honest, Borderlands it's like I get that people do the whole looter shooter shit with it, like with Destiny and what have you. But I was there for Borderlands until I completed the game and the DLCs, and then I stopped playing them. It's like I wasn't there for let's get loads of different loot and let's keep getting loot till I get the best guns in the game. For me, it was get loot means I can kill things quicker, which means I just move through the levels quick, the areas in the game quicker. It was more for that for me. It's like playing an RPG and getting better fucking swords. Except for I shoot things instead of stab things. It was that kind of thing. And then when I finished the story, I stopped playing it. I get that people like to then carry on with trying to get the best of the best. But it's just not for me.
No. Rage 2, I'm not going to get that on release by no means. But that might be a game that if it's on sale, probably pick it up. It looks like good fun.
It looks like fun, yeah.
I've played Rage 1.
It looks very different to the first Rage. I've not played much. I played like a little bit of Rage. It looks very, very different to it.
I was going to say, like Rage 1, it was very Mad Max-esque, wasn't it? The whole wasteland thing and the buggies and all the kind of it was very, very like Mad Max type.
It looked like Borderlands before they changed the art style. And it was a game that I want to say did take itself seriously, not in the way that Rage 2 has completely gone the opposite way. So
I would say that the first one actually did take itself seriously. It wasn't as wacky and as crazy. You know, it was was it trying to be a serious game? It's arguable, but it wasn't as silly as this by no way. You know, so it was a more serious game than this. So, it's interesting they've gone with a total different aspect with this game. Usually, you know, a sequel builds on what you've done in the first game, you know, or on the last game. But this is a sequel, but I don't think it's really a sequel. It's kind of just a reboot of the name, if you see what I mean, because it's so different to the first one, so wacky, and do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think they've taken the idea of they've gone, oh, that Rage game was a good idea, but it didn't sell so well. What do we need to do to make this better? And they were like, oh, let's just do some crazy shit. Let's get Danny Dyer involved, and let's do that, and let's just make this thing mad. But then they've decided to keep but because the core element is still Rage, they've kind of gone, well, let's just call it Rage 2. Do you know what I mean? This game could have been called something completely different as a new franchise, and I would not at once go, oh, that looked like Rage. That's like Rage. That is. You just wouldn't do it, would you?
No. Well as that, there is the He's on Fire cheat code, which gives the NBA Jam or NBA Playground, whatever the fuck it was called, NBA Jam commentator as a voice for it as well.
Oh, does it? Oh, that's pretty cool.
So there you go.
Cool. So we've caught up now.
Yes. Well, next up was the Microsoft reportedly plans Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, which is Xbox Live Gold plus Game Pass at $14.99 a month, and for dollars a month. Sorry, and for insiders, I don't know what is it. The people in the preview program or something else. Yeah. It's $1 a month until release, which I'm in there, and I haven't been fucking offered anything.
So yeah, it's $14.99 a month in dollars. It's going to be about £11.50 a month in pounds. Yeah. But again, this ties in maybe to the last thing we're going to talk about. With the cost of it at £11.50 a month, it actually works out cheaper to do that than it does, because usually buying things in bulk makes it cheaper. So, you know, Xbox Live subscription, if you pay for that monthly, it's usually a lot more expensive than just paying 40 quid a year. This £11.50 is it's a fair bit cheaper than buying the two than buying Xbox Live Gold at the yearly cost and the subscription to Game Pass. It's a fair bit cheaper, to be fair. So it is actually worth it. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, do you think it was an inevitable thing that was going to happen? Game Pass and Live kind of merging together again. That's a Sonyism, isn't it? Like Sony did it, so Microsoft are like, oh, why don't we do that and just charge more per month then?
Yes, I think it was something that I expected to come. People in the comments of Eurogamer saying that they reckon it'll be around $14.99 a month over here.
Yeah, it's going to be similar.
Simply because that's what they do in the UK, but also they reckon that with the tax and stuff, that's not included in the US $14.99 because of tax. Oh, I don't fucking know. Anyway, but it's cool. But at the same time, I don't, because you were on about this would maybe be put into PC, but couldn't they just still buy the normal Game Pass?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe they swap it, so you know, are they going to give people the option of doing it separately still? That's what I want to know. I
reckon they'll do the option of doing it. I don't think they'll force people to do both.
No,
I don't think they will, because like I was saying. When I'm not sure if you hear or if you were unable to hear or you've gone, but for me and a lot of other people, there should be the PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold, and then you should get two separate options for that. You should get online and games, in the sense of you either get both, so you get the full £40 a year, 50 now, or you get for half the price, you get the 4 games a month, or you get to play online.
Yeah.
I don't think they would make. I don't think they would turn around and say, "Well, no, this is how it is now." I think they will give the option because, like, obviously, a lot of there's 100 people who have Xbox Live Gold. There's only about 25, if that, probably around 15 people who actually have Game Pass. I don't think they would force people to get both because I'm not sure if people will be willing to pay that much a month every month.
No. You know, this new kind of deal is it's being the idea is that it'll be released the same time as the new all digital Xbox. I just seen the chat. I think you was just seen the Rage 2 trailer. It's so you can kind of see maybe where it's coming from. You know, timing it with the all digital version of the Xbox kind of makes sense, I guess. Be interesting to see. I'll probably do it because I pay for gold. I won't be doing it yet because I've, you know, not recently. I've just recently renewed my subscription, but I'll do that because it will work out cheaper in the long run for me to buy it that way. Do you have Game Pass, Pedz?
I do. I have both. So I would
PC as well.
I would likely go for both because I mainly play the games that I have on the Xbox over the PC because it's easy to stream from the Xbox than the PC. When it comes to Xbox games, when I was streaming Gears of War 4 back when it first came out on the PC, I had to like display capture and it uses a lot more resources. So I stopped. I just thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna stream, and then I streamed the rest of it from my fucking Xbox. It's fucking easier at the time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that's literally why. It also means that like things like Borderlands Remastered, I can play with my brother-in-law because he's only got an Xbox One. He did have a PlayStation 4, but he barely played it, so he sold it. He does have a laptop, but it's not a gaming laptop. And he used to play WoW on it, but until I was like, oh, so I was WoW going. He's like, yeah, I played it for months. Like, oh, okay. So, fair enough. I haven't played it since like not long after Legion came out. So, yeah. But yeah, for me, it would be better to get both. The problem is now I'm gonna have to work out how many months I need to buy Game Pass to finish Gold and Game Pass at the same time, then start a subscription for both.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It is a pain in the ass. Also, the article says that obviously the all digital edition, when it comes out, I think it's due out in 7th of May. There we are. It's going to be preloaded with 3 games. It's going to be preloaded with Minecraft and Sea of Thieves, which you kind of go, okay, fair enough. And it's going to preload with Forza Horizon 3, not Forza Horizon 4, which I think is very weird. What's the? It just seems very weird. Are they looking at it? Well, no.
You're probably thinking, we'll do this, and then people get forward Game Pass anyway. What difference does it make?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because you're going to get Sea of Thieves you'd get with Game Pass anyway. Minecraft you'd get with Game Pass anyway. I guess it wouldn't make sense to preload a game. So at least they're preloading a game that you can't get on Game Pass, so I guess that's kind of where some people might say it'd be worth it, you know?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think the simple fact that if this is true and it is happening and they are going to do it for $15.99 a month, then that's not bad. How much is it per month for Xbox Live Gold on its own?
Oh, good question. I do not know.
$6.99.
$6.99. There we are.
Yeah, and Game Pass is $7.99.
Yeah. So 7 plus 8, basically.
It's £15. So if it's $14.99 a month, then what's the fucking
Same
point?
price.
It's the same fucking price.
Well, this is why I think it is going to be at that £11.50 mark, because it just doesn't make sense otherwise. It literally will not make sense. Because if it works out at £11.50, then there's a significant. It actually works out cheaper than buying, like I say, buying them separately in bulk. So yeah, it's tricky, but I guess only time will tell if it's going to be $14.99 or if it's going to be $11.50.
No, what they're going to do is go, the market have changed. Let's up the price of Game Pass as well.
Yeah.
It'll make it look like our deal is actually worth a shit then, instead of it being exactly the same price.
Speaking of bumping up the price, I think that's a good segue onto our last topic of discussion.
Right. I had this message myself, but I haven't got my Xbox open. But I have this message open that is off someone on the GRcade. It says, as of May 8th, the 12-month subscription fee for Xbox Live Gold is increasing from £39.99 to £49.99 to address changing market conditions. I wonder what they are. All current subscribers all current subscribers will keep their current subscription fee for 90 days. You will be charged the new price effective August 7th, 2019, unless you choose to cancel your subscription before the next scheduled payment.
Should I tell you what's interesting? This is a very good example of the first thing we talked about when it comes to the way they're advertising their subscription fees. Because to me, this is very, very, very confusing. So, let me break this down, and I'll tell you how I see this. So it says, as of May 8th, the 12-month subscription fee for Xbox Live Gold is increasing from $39 to $49.99. Fine, to address changing market conditions. All current subscribers will keep their current subscription fee for 90 days. So, that to me, first of all, says, I've renewed my Xbox Live Gold in February, like just gone. So I'm only 2 months into my year. So I've got 10 months left, and I've paid my £40 for it. So this, you'll be charged the new price August 7th, right? So this, to me, is indicating that what they're going to do is double charge me, essentially. So I've still got 10 months left, and by the time August 7 comes around, what does that work out? February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So I've only paid for 6 months of... I've spent 40 quid for 6 months, basically, and then they're going to charge me 50 quid for a year again. And then what I don't get then is this bit underneath where it says, unless you choose to cancel your subscription before your next scheduled payment. My next scheduled payment isn't until February next year. So then that's telling me they're not going to charge me the new price until February next year, when that's my next scheduled payment. So,
I think it basically means that if your subscription it runs out from before August, say I bought Xbox Live Gold in August the 1st, 2018, then on the August the 1st, 2019, I will still pay the traditional $39.99. But from August the 7th onwards, I will be paying the $49.99.
Yeah. See, that's what I hope, because like
they're not going to be able to charge you fucking double. No fucking way.
Surely not, because I'd say that's acceptable. But can you understand why I'm confused by this? Because 1 minute it kind of looks like they're saying we're going to charge you again on the 7th of August. You've got until the 7th of August to decide whether or not you want to keep Xbox Live, basically. And then the next thing they're saying, you'll be charged. It's not the most clear of message, is it?
No.
And this brings in the first thing we were talking about. Is, in your opinion, you read that message, for you personally, like to me, I've made myself quite clear that is not clear to me, and that is going to, if it confuses me, it's going to confuse other people as well. In your opinion, Pedz, where do you stand on that message?
As of May 8th, the subscription is going up because you fucked yourselves out of the European market. We are charging you more because your money, as in your British pound, is going to go down the shitter. You're lucky we're only adding £10 instead of 10,000. That's basically what I say.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. We might as well get this in the open. I said to Pedz the other day that we don't want to dwell on it too much because people are getting tired of hearing about it. But I think we all know that the change in market conditions is Brexit. We might as well just get that in the open. Pedz, you're totally right. It's to do with the strength of the pound. Here's the thing. What if the pound doesn't change? What if it gets stronger by some miracle? Then are they going to change that again? Like, what happens then? You know, they're not. Clearly, they're not. They're going to make money on this. You know, but
yeah. So if Brexit is cancelled and now pound decides to go back up for some reason, I think the damage has been done now and it's not going to. But if it does, they've said they've said we are going to be charging you more money. And they're going to go, oh, well, it means we earn even more money than we anticipated. Exactly. They ain't going to change their mind, are they? So.
Well, and that's the thing, is they're saying changing market conditions. That if they said because of Brexit, and then Brexit doesn't happen, they have to go back on it. They don't have to prove to us that it's Brexit that's causing this, but we all know that's the reason why. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a kick in the nuts in it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, has it I didn't have the original Xbox. I came in at the 360. So has it always been 40 quid a year, or was it cheaper than that at one point?
I believe it's always been £40 a year.
Yeah.
The thing is Sony upped their price from $39.99 to $49.99, but they also updated their price everywhere in the world, and they've done
so
that
you don't mind that.
You do, because they also just over a year later removed PlayStation 3 and Vita games from their PlayStation Plus service. So they added £10 extra and removed games from the service. And what benefit have we seen from that?
Yeah, not much. Let's be fair. It's very frustrating. It's just. I mean, there's not really much we can say about it apart from the fact that it's just bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? Am I still going to pay it? Yes. You know, at the end of the day, it's... And that's the thing, is the annoying thing is that we are in a position... Well, I'm particularly... You know, if you're tied quite tightly into a console, you're going to pay whatever they charge, really. Like, if I've got a Switch, I pay for that. I've paid the yearly thing for that as well. If I had a PS4, I'm not so bothered about the online bit of PS4. I'd only play the PS4 exclusives, and anything else I'd play on the Xbox or the Switch anyway. So I wouldn't be paying for the service on there anyway. So the change in that wouldn't bother me. But this, you know, when they know full well, if you're tied into their ecosystem, they can do whatever they want to you, and more often than not, you're going to accept it. And it's just sad that that's the case, you know. You know, unless they went nuts and tried charging £100 a month, then I'm gonna pay for it, you know. And it's just a shame that I kind of have already accepted defeat on it, you know.
It's unfortunate, and that's the way they fucking screw people over. When you that's the thing with having the one console. It's like if you decide to get the other console. Then you've lost everything.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking on here for the on the support site, 'cause it says for more information go to xbox.com. Support at xbox.com, and I'm on here. Well, there is nothing.
Oh, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
Maybe it's somewhere, but fuck me, is it hard to find.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be under billing, but it's not under billing. Billing update for your Xbox Live monthly subscriptions. I haven't got that, but it's a trending topic. And it says, what's happening with my subscription? And it doesn't... It just says... that stuff is... I don't fucking know. We've simplified Xbox Live subscriptions by making your monthly bill and renewal date the same. Well, is this fucking stuff, man? So I'm now on this. The what's it called? Sales promotions, network hardware, apps, accessibility, Xbox TV hardware. Right, so I'm looking here at the site. I can't see anything on the community part of the forum either.
No, yeah, I'm on here as well. I thought I'd have a quick look and.
So it's like, well, fuck, like, oh well, there's no. It says that, but you know.
But again, as we said with the first thing, like, this is the exact problem that's being investigated, and maybe this is why, because the investigation these three are having is UK only. Maybe it's because of the fact that these things are now happening because we're leaving Europe and all that. It's kind of kicked this whole thing into gear because it's going to screw people over. And like, I'm not like we've just gone on. We've done exactly what they've said in the message. Go to support.xbox.com for more information. There was nothing obvious. And bearing in mind, when you type that in, it takes you to the UK version of Xbox support. So it's not like you would have to go. Like, it takes you straight to the localized version of the website. So therefore, surely there should be something massive on the front saying, here's your information. Like, I'm not being funny, it wasn't there at our first glance. So, one, the message they've sent us, to me, it doesn't make sense. I think they're trying to, it kind of insinuates two things. And two, when you actually look for that support to clarify these things, it's not there. It's not obvious. Like, maybe the commission that are investigating this actually have a point, because you know,
well, with the rumor of the Xbox Live Gold, at the same time, someone on Reset Era, one of the admin on there, was on about that that this isn't going to be the only tier introduced by Microsoft, the whole Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So maybe more variant tiers.
Yeah.
And they also said Microsoft wants to make subscription services more important moving forward, so a lot of new things coming from MS will be tied to subscriptions.
What else could they tie to a subscription? I'm trying to think now.
The soul.
Yeah. They might as well.
It's unfortunate that we've headed down the route of everything is tied to such and such now. It's like, I want to go back to the days where I just slam a fucking cart in. You know?
Yeah. No DLC, no, just whatever that cart had on it, you just accepted, you know, for good or for worse.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a shame that we are in this position where things can be manipulated in certain ways, but I guess we've always had it with games and various other things, but with games where like the market in some way could shift where you have to pay more for the game itself. But when you're paying for subscriptions and what have you, it's a bit of more of a sting in the ass, because it's like where you've got your stuff digitally and you can't. It's like I could say I've got 50 games on my Xbox digitally. I haven't got that many games on there, but say I had, and I was like, right, I want to get rid of my Xbox, I want to get on the PlayStation and play their games, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll trade in my Xbox, and I'm like, oh, wait a sec, how the fuck am I going to do this? You can't. Unless you're like, can I sell my account, please?
Yeah, and you can't even do that because you have to give over your details. It's basically, you know, the trouble with this all digital future, which is going to happen, there's just no denying it.
Oh yeah.
The issue with it is it's going to force people, like, people are, they're already relatively, like, they're already quite tribal, a lot of people, about what console they use. A lot of people, you know, some people it's like PS4 only, Xbox only, whatever. Like, it's gonna cause this so much worse, Because, like you said, once you've invested the money into that brand, you're not gonna change, and you're not gonna buy the game twice. It's tricky. It's really, really tricky. Unless you got money coming out your ears.
Yeah.
Again, maybe the only other way you're gonna do it is you dedicate the one console to being your daily driver as such. So that's the one that any cross-platform games you'll buy it on there. Like for me, it'd be the Xbox. So any game that can be bought on the PlayStation will be bought on the Xbox. Yeah, your cross-platform games. But then I wouldn't mind owning a PS4 to play the exclusives. So that's probably what's going to happen. Is you're going to have your one main console, which is the one that you play your FIFAs and your Call of Duties and all those type of games on, as well as the exclusives. And then you're going to get the secondary consoles, your Switch, or I'd say the Switch in a way, it's on its own separate thing. The Switch just kind of is doing its own thing. It's not really getting involved, and I think it's probably a good thing the Switch is kind of out the way, just getting on with what it's doing, because it's not competing with these two. But that's what's going to happen, I think, is you're going to have your one daily driver, and then you're going to have the other console, which is going to be purely for their exclusives.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass, though.
It is. Still I don't know. I just feel like we're getting to the point now where we're being forced to pick a side, and it's like, I don't want to pick a side. I like having all the fucking stuff. I couldn't give two fucks about the companies in general. Like, I want all the, like, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony. I want them to be there for driving competition and what have you, and ideas and various other things. But I don't care about the companies in any other regard. So just, if a good game's a fucking good game, I don't give a fuck what platform it's on.
No.
Obviously, if I have the choice, I will pick the game where it runs best.
Yeah.
But I would still, like back when it came to the PS3 and the 360, when I didn't have a PC here, I would pick, if the game ran better on the PS3 or the 360 or the Xbox or the PS4, I would buy it on that platform. Yeah. If it was a multiplayer game, it depended on who I was planning on playing with. I would buy it on the console that they like. For example, the Division 2, I grabbed that on the PlayStation 4, even though I could have had it on the PC or the Xbox One X to get a better version of the game in the sense of visually and running. But I went for the PS4 version simply because I wanted to play it with Peter Crisp, Devlin, Lewis D, Chalky, and other people who I played the first game with. So for me, it's not about the consoles. It's about the games or multiplayer who I'm playing with, and the fact that we are now getting tied into an ecosystem is kind of fucking with that. And I hope it fucks off and fucking sharpish.
Sadly, I think it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to go away.
You can almost see a future. I mean, this is a distant future where
Amazon, not Amazon, consoles. Google rule it all.
Yeah. Well, you can see maybe what it's going to be is like everything's going to be streamed, because I think that's eventually where everything's going. It's going to go all digital, and then it's going to go all streamed. And then instead of having consoles, you're just going to have your smart TV, and it might actually be better for it. You'll end up just being able to download the Xbox app and the PlayStation app, and and then that's it. You stream everything from there, so you don't need to be spending money on these two consoles, and it might actually help with this division that's going to be caused with the all digital future. Do you know what I mean? It's probably, I'm talking real distant future. I think it's going to do a full circle. I think we're going to go through a stage where it's going to force people to be more tribal, because not everyone has the money to spend on
in
everything.
50 years time, we'll be downloading the stuff on the Xbox app and the PlayStation app. And Nintendo will release the new console, which is as powerful as an Xbox One X.
Pretty much. That's where we're going with this. I think Nintendo are always going to do their own thing, which is nice in a way.
It
they're
is,
they're bucking the trend, and all for them doing it. And that's great.
Well, I think for the last few generations, people have seen Nintendo as the console to have with another console.
Yeah, and I admit,
my PlayStation 3, my Xbox 360 is my main console, but I've got this little Wii, and it's kind of fun to play, but I wouldn't keep it as an exclusive thing and only be a Nintendo gamer. But it goes nice and it complements my hardcore games.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've bought a Switch mostly for the exclusives. I think most people, that's why you buy a Nintendo system, is you can't play those games anywhere else. But for instance, I prefer playing Rocket League on the Switch. I guess the visuals are maybe slightly, they are better on the Xbox, but I do like, there's certain games that I do actually prefer to play on the go. Rocket League being one. Really tempted. I've been playing Skyrim. The special edition, the one for the the remastered version for the Xbox. Yeah, I've been really enjoying it, and part of me is like, I'll keep playing on the Xbox, but part of me is like, I would love to take that with me. Like, I don't always think about all games. Like Sea of Thieves, I wouldn't want to take that with me. I don't know why. It's a game that I don't want to take with me. I'm happy to make an event out of it, but there's some games, I've got to be honest, like there are some games out there, like first-person shooters, I'm not bothered about taking them with me. But there are some games that I just think, actually, I'd probably play that more on the Switch because I can play it on the TV, but also I really like the idea of playing that particular game on the smaller screen in work or wherever I am at the time, And that's exactly what happened with me with Rocket League. So
for some people it is obviously going to hit a sweet spot. It's like, well, I'll get the TV for an hour or two tonight, and I can play it there. And it's like, but I'm in work tomorrow, and I'm gonna have a couple of hours quiet. So if I've got it on the Switch, I play for a bit there, and then I can crack on with it in work as well. So for Nintendo, they've done a fucking banging job. But for me, it's like, well, I don't want to take my Switch with me. I want to just connect to my TV and play like I do other consoles, you bastards.
I'll tell you what, though, the one thing it does do is happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I was in the middle of a game, can't remember what I was playing. We had a power cut, and I didn't save. That is worth its weight in gold. The Switch thing is worth its weight in gold. Yeah, it's happened 2 or 3 times since I've had the Switch. A power cut or whatever, or the meter goes or something, you forget, and you're just like, and there's that moment where you're like, oh shit, I didn't save, and you're like, hang on. And then you just take it out of the dock and it's fine. It just carries on.
It happened to me.
That is worth its weight in gold.
It happened to me a couple of weeks ago. Would have been last year actually. It was when I was playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Yeah. And I played it. I was streaming. I was playing for 3 hours, and then all of a sudden the electric went. I was like, no! And I didn't save it. I was like, wait a second. Wait a second. I picked up my Switch. I was like, put everything back on, and I was like, I tweeted Nintendo UK. It's like, you should put on the box, power cut, no problem.
I remember that tweet, yeah. But it's a great thing. I got to, things like that. But yeah, it's going back to the main point. I think let's have a look. You won't need lots of power to interrupt your game in the digital age. This is true. I think
the thing is with that, going back to that little story, is I had flashbacks of when I used to go to my friend's house and we would play Pokemon Red and Blue or Gold and Silver through Pokemon Stadium 2, I think it was, where you had 3 times speed for Pokemon Blue and Red, and 2 times speed for Gold, Silver, and I think Crystal. And that happened to us once or twice there, where we'd lose hours and hours of fucking data. It's like we'd hatch eggs by going back, just riding up and down for hours on end at 2 times speed, and then it's like electric. It's like, no! Hours of work undone. There you go.
Yeah, it's not good. But yeah. So, I think in some way, I think we've turned the negative aspect of what we were talking about into more of a positive end. You know, we've kind of, which is nice. I think ending on a positive.
I think we took the negative thing and then stopped talking about it and just started talking about things we like talking about.
Yeah, which is a nice way. A nice way to wrap up, I'd say.
Yeah, just having a little chat about whatever the fuck we feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be fun though when we do get these apps. It's like, hey, there's me, a wrinkly old man, not as old as Jawa still, and then try to play my game, and the internet cuts out, and then the electric cuts out, and then the TV explodes. That's all that happened.
In that particular order.
It's like, yeah. No, it's you know, they, like I said, the ecosystem thing's a shame, but at the same time, there's nothing I can do about it, so I'll just try and stick to having all the consoles. I think that's the best bet, and I think I would recommend to anyone, even if you could pick up a cheap PlayStation 4 if you've got an Xbox, or a cheap Xbox for a PlayStation 4. I think it's worth having all the consoles to play all the different games. Because at the end of the day, the simple fact that you may miss out on something you like and it could turn out to be one of your favorites, it's just a shame. Like, even if the thing is, if you have the option and you look at something like, I don't want that, then that's fair enough. But then a lot of time you look at something like, well, I am with the console's the fucking point, and you won't bother or something, and it's kind of a bit shit, like, you know. But podcasts. Switching, got any problems with that?
Nope. We're good there.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time we should end. I've rambled on for the last hour or so.
To be fair, you've done very well to hold this episode together.
Let's do it back. Let's do it back. I'm alright at talking with another person because I can like if someone makes a point about something, I can then give my point of view on that, or agree with that, or various other things. When I'm talking to myself, it's like, blah, 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 blah. Isn't that right? I can't do that to myself, because that would be strange, and people probably wouldn't like it.
No.
And also, I would agree with myself all the time, and the people wouldn't find that very much fun.
No.
Oh, so I listen to that podcast, the guys on there just agree all the time. See, it would be very fun, wouldn't it?
No, we would not. You are correct.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's time we should end, as it's 12 o'clock, and while that isn't a problem, we haven't particularly got any more topics to talk about, and that's basically it, really.
More importantly, WrestleMania starts in 10 minutes, so that's where I'm going.
Yeah. Any questions? You could take 20 minutes if you want asking them. I don't mind. I don't like wrestling. I think it's shit. Actually, I'm going to go. I'm going to ask questions in chat while Doom spends 40 minutes talking on his own.
Smack.dope or doped up on Smack. Ooh. Probably smacked up on dope. Because...
Well, it depends.
Smacked up on dope, yeah.
Are you American? Are you American? Because, you know, it'd mean the same thing, really. Because dope in America is heroin.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's not weed.
Oh, see, I always thought it was weed.
It is over here.
Ah, right, yeah, okay.
Yeah. In the US, you say to someone you got some dope, they'll give you a fucking bag smack. Well, at least in the TV shows I've watched. I don't know that. I couldn't tell for certain. But I'm assuming, you know, TV shows are usually based on facts. You know? Like, look at Doctor Who. About that guy
Obviously.
constantly, a woman, constantly travelling into different times in space. like, you know, doctors do. I also think they learn about the body. They just travel back for time and watch people die all the time. And then they learn. Yeah. Obviously. Then they do with science.
No.
Anyway, I'm going to go to bed. Doom's going to go watch WrestleMania. But we will be back soon. Tomorrow night, I'll be doing... either Final Fantasy 9 or Sea of Thieves. It depends on if anyone's about for Sea of Thieves. If not, then I'll just jump on Final Fantasy 9 because I was enjoying that. But obviously, multiplayer comes first. Ah. Right.
Cool.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure as always. Hopefully next week I won't be left on my own for an hour. Bye, guys.
Good night.
At least he didn't fall asleep.
I had a legit thing I had to do this time.